This is a video covering my favorite draft simulation tool. I will be using this for Ravnica Allegiance when it comes out. Pre-release is coming out in just a short 7 days, and the set should go live anytime after that. I think the 25th is the official launch date, but we should have some draft events, some sealed events, stuff like that coming up. So subscribe now to make sure you catch some of those. I will be using this tool to help me with those draft events and sealed events. I'm not very good at it, and without tools like this, I would not even attempt limited play drafting or sealed play. And then the other part about this video I wanted to cover is that this is not a paid promotional video. I'm just showing you my favorite tool. So I did contact the owner of the site, and he said, go for it, show it off. This is just a Magic the Gathering draft simulator that allows you to draft against computer opponents, so it is a simulator. It will generate sealed pools for you. You can view suggested picks. You can automatically build decks. There's even a share feature he's built into it, so you can share it and show people what you've drafted. And you can view card power rankings. There's some updates. He's got Orzhov, Zorius, Rakdos, Gruul, and Simic pre-release sealed packs. Actually, I don't think most of those are randomized. There's some staple cards that you get in there. And then there's ratings, tier lists, and stuff like that in this site. It's super cool. It is draftsim.com, and I highly recommend it. So I'm going to get into... the other thing is he does operate on Patreon. So if you use this tool and you love it, please go there and donate. Here's the biggest thing that I use this for. So I'm going to go to the ratings, and you can see all the ratings by set for everything in Standard. So this is what we would be using to draft in Magic the Gathering, the Arena, of course. If you're doing a paper draft and you're going back farther than that, it may not be something you can even use. But if you're doing it in Magic the Arena, for sure, you will definitely use it for all the sets you can draft. I used it for Core 19 when I did a paper draft. And I still, sometimes when I draft, I can't shake the greed factor, and I ended up picking up a Sarkhan Fireblood, and it wasn't all that high rated, but I used him in my deck, and I didn't place as high as I probably could have, but I really wanted to use him, so I did. And what I'm going to do is get into Ravnica Allegiance is already here, so let's click on it. I'm not going to review all 250 cards. That'd be kind of brutal. I will zoom in just a touch, just kind of see everything. How about that? I'll do 5 cards to a row. And he's got them organized by incredible bombs and then good first picks. Now, the number 1 card, according to this team, is Angel of Grace, and then Spawn of Mayhem and Skargan Hellkite. Now, you will never have to choose between the 3 of those, right? They're all mythic rares. You will get 1 in a pack. That's sort of how I base this. That's my strategy. Okay, as I just look at it and say, okay, I need to know which of the mythic rares are good first picks, so I don't have to wonder if I'm missing an uncommon that's also a bomb. But beyond these first 8 picks, the first 9 picks, there are great first picks, okay? So Domri is one of the good first picks. You'll never have to pick between Domri, Chaosbringer, and End-Raze Forerunners. You can just choose either one of those that you get in your pack and be happy. Even if one of isn't your first pick, I would still grab them just because they're good bombs and great first picks. But now here's where it starts to get a little squirrely with Mortify. I think Mortify is going to be fantastic even in Standard. When it's constructed, it's going to replace Murder, it's going to replace Cast Down. It's a creature or an enchantment, and it is terrific. And I don't know that we'll see too many mono black decks after this set comes out, but we'll see. Anyway, that's an uncommon. It is the 18th best card in the set. So say you get Mortify in a pack where your rare is also Deputy of Detention. You may want to pick Mortify depending on your color scheme. And then the other thing about this is that this is a good starting off point for your draft. This is not exactly how you should draft. So you don't want to draft in this order. It's just a starting off point. So if your first pack you get Mesmerizing Benthid, right, as this is your mythic rare, you go, oh, that's a mythic rare, I better take that one. You're probably okay to pick it, right? Mortify is rated a few ticks higher, or a few ticks better, I suppose. The number's lower, the rating is higher. But if you pick Mesmerizing Benthid, you're probably not going to be doing too bad. I would pick it. The real issue I have for me anyway is when I draft, I'm going to scroll way down to the bottom here. Check this out. And it's organized by by card rating, and I'm not going to cover all the card ratings because that would take us forever. But here in the above average cards, we start to see some commons. So Final Payment's pretty good. Growth Chamber Guardian is 53rd in the list. So here now we have commons rated above rares. Pay attention to that, and I'll teach you how I use this tool also, rather than just showing you the rating system, because the rating system, if you feel like memorizing this, hey, go for it, that's cool. I don't. I use this as a practice system, not a memorize of the rating system. Okay, I'm scrolling through the card just to kind of get to the bottom of this for you. Look at Tithe Taker down here at 100. Man, kind of a bad rap. I don't know how the gates work in sealed and draft, honestly. People like them. But I don't know, I just think it's land at some point, right? And I'm trying to get to the bottom because I found something disturbing, and I'm gonna fight at the nerd store about this on Friday night. Rarely playable. Basically, you don't want them, right? Here they are: Territorial Boar, 10th Street Dodger, Ill-Gotten Inheritance, Carrion Imp, Shimmer of Possibility. Where is she? Senate Courier, Coral Commando, Twilight Panther. Twilight Panther too? Dang, it's tough. Night of Sorrows, Justicar's Portal. I haven't seen this one yet. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield. That's pretty good. There's a lot you could do with that, except that exiles and not dies, but if it's got a when it comes into play effect, it would trigger again. And then it gets first strike. So when it comes into play, it summons a thing and gets first strike. Burn Bright, basically unplayable, good to know. Orzhov, the Lockets are basically unplayable. Lavina, the Azorius Renegade. Ceruli Caretaker, basically unplayable. Mirror Match. All of these are in the, you know, you don't want to draft them if you don't have to. And they're rated, so they're like, some of them are more unplayable than others. So Bankrupt in Blood is probably rarely playable card, even more so. And then basically unplayable, period, end of story. Kaya. Kaya's down here. The third worst card in the set, apparently. Yeah. I think Kaya's going to be a hell of a token remover. And you get 3 tokens removed. Bang, bang, bang. They're gone. Exile up to 2 targets from a single graveyard. That's not bad. You don't have to. You could just hit it and go to 1. But then the ultimate is 2 turns away, and she deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards that player owns in exile. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty bad. I don't know. I think it's going to be okay, but we'll see what ends up happening with it. So this is a breakdown of the ratings. Okay, that's all this is. Feel free to look at this and see where, like, Smothering Tithe, why is that the 237th card? Well, I don't know. People smarter than me put this list together, and I'm not here to judge too harshly on how they derived at this rating system. I'm going to go quickly here. But I do want to know what the incredible bombs are, just to make sure I don't miss them. And I generally want to have an idea of good first picks, right? So I'm going to dive into this pretty heavily. So like Sphinx of New Prov is the 30th best card, and it is an uncommon. So I'm going to have a tough time if I've already drafted some white and some blue, and then I see like Electro Dominance. Obviously I'm going to take Electro Dominance just because I'm greedy and I want that card. And I might do a 3-color deck at that point if I'm, well, I might, I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. I think 3 colors works better in sealed, but we'll see. So that's how the cards are rated. And now here's how I use that information when I use this particular tool. If you go to Draft and you go to Ravnica Allegiance, it will set you up with a like a simulated pack. Okay. Here's the cards. Guardian Project, Azorius Skyguard, light up the stage, clear the stage. Gore Clan Wrecker, because he hates the Gore Clan, or he is from the Gore Clan, I don't know which one. Imperious Oligarch, Blade Brand, Frenzied Arynx. Active Treason came back? Why? Okay, I'm not here to judge. Clear the Mind, Rakdos Trumpeter, Gateway Plaza. Deface, Ceruli Caretaker, and an Azorius Guildgate. I think to myself, I say self, which of these cards would be the best first card to pick up? We've got a 6 casting, 3/3 flying. I think that's mostly trash for the Azorius Skyguard. Light up the stage and clear the stage. These were pretty low rated equally in the rating system, if I remember right. Guardian Project, I don't remember seeing this very high, so I think I would look at... I think Blade Brand might be a pretty good common that gives you card draw, and it's sort of like removal. Or maybe Frenzied Errands might be a good first pick. Now this is exactly how I use this tool. I give me the suggestions. Guardian Project is the highest rated card in this pack. So now I know. I would say, okay, well, Guardian Project is up there. And then you can pick it. Click on it, it selects the card for you and says, here's your... it's got my suggestions. Here's the cards I've picked. So I can scroll down and look at Guardian Project if I want to. And then I can scroll up. It's going to have the suggestions on it. Can I hide those? Yeah. So I'm going to hide the suggestions for myself. I didn't get a chance to see them just now. But knowing what I know about Mortify and that there's no more rares left in the pack, I'm going to say Mortify is the next best card on the list, and I'm going to be right. Followed by Mammoth Spider, which is just a 3/5 with reach, but that reach is pretty cool. Where does Combine Guildmage? It's a 2.7, but Mortify is a 3.8. Mortify is one of the highest rated cards in the whole set. I know that. I'm going to take it just because I don't need to pretend. Now let's see here. High Alert, Eyes Everywhere, Gateway Sneak, and Breeding Pool. So nobody took any rares. The commons went first out of this pack. I'm not sure which one we would want to grab, so I'm just going to take a look, and this is a new set. Undercity's Embrace is the recommended first pick here. Undercity's Embrace. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you gain 4 life. I think this is just for the removal effect. That's actually quite fabulous because they can pick a hexproof creature if it's the only one they have on the board. That's not bad. I like that a lot. And then what I would do, so I'll just show you guys how I do this. Pick that card. I go on to the next few. If a rare makes it this far, I just remember that Amplifier probably isn't going to be a very good one. And I will say that when I'm drafting in Magic the Arena, I leave this up. And I just Alt-Tab to the 2 different apps that are running. On paper is a little tricky because you've got to really kind of memorize this kind of stuff. So I'm kind of done. Grasping Thrall is the next best one, which is the white-black. Cool. So look for flyers at that point. That's pick 4. I only do about 3 or 4 picks into the pack. Once we start to get to the commons, I generally pick based on color and like what gives me the most value. So I wouldn't pick a Simic card if I've been drafting Orzhov, for example. I just kind of know that, at least where I'm at now. Then what I'll do is I'll do it again. I'll just hit draft, Ravnica Allegiance, boom, opens up a brand new draft, brand new first pick, just so I can practice getting myself started. Once you get down to the 3rd pack, you sort of know where you're trying to draft, and then of course if you get one of the incredible bombs, you want to grab it, and then you just keep drafting according to how you've done it. Biomancer's Familiar, huh? I don't recall seeing that one. And I do a lot of image memory, so I remember what the images are so I can quickly see them, and identify them, and grab them. Active Treason is trash. I don't know why that made it. I think we do want Biomancer's Familiar. Let me just check on that. Yeah, Biomancer's Familiar was on the list. Activated costs of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the amount of mana and ability cost to activate less than 1. The next time target creature adapts this turn, it adapts as though it had no... Wow, that's amazing. Okay, that's pretty cool. Fireblade Artist is pretty cool too, looks like. But not very high rated. That's why I have to go. It's trash. It's not trash. It's 2.6, but because I don't have any of the dual colors yet, it gives me a 6/10 less. So Fireblade Artist would be a decent card if you have Rakdos colors, and that's something to pay attention to. And I'm going to do this probably 150 times a day up until launch. That's for draft. It also has a sealed tool. So if you do sealed events, it will randomly draft for you a sealed deck list. Not a deck list, but like opening up 6 packs. Organizes them by color, and then I think it's alphabetical. It's not alphabetical. By mana cost. Not even by mana cost, by type. Creature, enchantment, instant sorcery, yeah, by type. Color and type. So we have, it always shows us white first, and then what I did when I do sealed events, I don't know that I will be doing too many sealed events on paper, so I can kind of take my time with sealed events a little bit. But I would estimate the strength of the color rather than they've even included foils, like the possibility of getting a mythic foil, Mesmerizing Benthet. And remember, Mesmerizing Benthet is one of the best mythics in the deck, or mythics in the set rather, second to like Mortify. So if we've got 2 or 3 Mortifies, we may want to go Orzhov colors. And I'm just going to scroll through real quickly and see what we've got going on here. A lot of these are going to be multicolor cards, so looking at the colors will only get you so far because it's going to go to the multicolors. Next, Fireblade Artist is pretty good. This is Rakdos. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Aeromunculus. These are going to be so interesting. The Simic Mutants. I kind of like that idea. Sphinx of New Prov is strong. So I have no idea what deck we're going to want to build out of this. You can click these and add them to your deck and create a 40 card deck with a mana base and see where you're at with your deck building based on random selections as if you had opened 6 packs. However, I like to scroll all the way back up and then have the system build the deck for me and see if it would have built Rakdos like what I'm thinking. Close. It's going more like Izzet colors, red and blue. So that's something to pay attention to because Mesmerizing Benthet did make it. And this is sort of how I judge the power of cards on a slightly larger scale than Draft. Don't know if this is going to help me when I go to do sealed events in Magic the Arena. I don't need to look at the lands. But it is going to help me figure out which of the commons among them are actually pretty good. I did this. This is exactly how I prepped for Core 19. This is how I prepped for Guilds of Ravnica, and this is how I'm prepping for, of course, Ravnica the Allegiance. I'm going to spend some time offline doing this. If you're bored, you got a few free minutes. It doesn't even take a minute. You just hit the button, you hit Draft, you hit Simulate, and then you tell it to go over your suggestions even. I mean, I can do this 100 times. And I just look at the suggestions even. In an average number of 15 cards, End-Raze Forerunners is going to be number 1. That's like the 7th rated card in the whole deck. And then Flames of the Razebore. Okay, so that's kind of name familiarity also. Flames of the Razebore deals 4 damage to target creature. Then deals 2 damage to each other creature that players controls. That's pretty incredible. It's expensive, but it's pretty awesome. And so this is how I use this tool. He's got a blog, so if you want to follow him either here or on Twitter or on Facebook, I highly recommend that. Also, donating to his Patreon works pretty good too. It's a super cool tool, very useful. I plan on using this for every set that comes out. I do use it for every set that comes out, but I also plan on using it in the future for sets that are yet to be released. And it has helped me. And like I said earlier, without this tool, I would not have even tried to draft not one time. So use it, if you like it, cool. If not, I'm sure there's other good tools out there, but this is my favorite one. Thank you so much for watching, and happy drafting.